we have to understand what Bill Clinton said. Abortion should be rare. And we have to understand that we're not going to be overturned by the court. Roe's not going anyplace while Obama's president. So Republicans should say, let's all work together on steps to reduce the number of abortions, because none of us think it's good.
But the party should still...
Let me just finish it.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting point you're making.
Consent.
Should the party stand, then, for a woman's right to choose, whilst trying to keep the numbers low? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that they're not going to do that, and that's their opinion, and it's a deeply held belief.
Where does the party stand? What's the Republican position, then?
Pro-life. But I am saying...
And yet you're not talking about abolishing it. You're talking about keeping abortion at a lower level. That's not pro-life, is it?
Let me talk about what I'm talking about. When Bill Clinton took office, there were 1,400,000 abortions. Now there are 700,000.
Right.
Because of adoption procedures, counseling, birth control...
No, I get that, but your position...
parental notification, consent...
I'm trying to work out what your position is, Dick.
That the Republican Party needs to move from making abortion illegal to making it rare.
Right. You see, but when you say turning it from illegal to rare, what you're moving from is pro-life to pro-choice in the debate, and you know that. You can't be... You're either or. You either believe it should be illegal or you believe it shouldn't. And if you don't, you move your position as a party.
I believe that as a practical matter with the Republican Party, if they focus on overturning Roe, they're whistling in the wind, and they know that.
Right, but as a party's position... And they've got to be very clear about this so that the women that you're talking about who feel disenfranchised by the party know exactly what they stand for. What you're saying is they need to move from pro-life to pro-choice, albeit trying to reduce the numbers.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, you're not.
Explain to me why I'm wrong.
I much prefer my own words coming out of my mouth.
Well, but explain to me why I'm wrong.
Because the issue is that it is not a theoretical debate as to whether Roe will ever be overturned. That we've had 40 years of Republicans dominating the court, and it hasn't been. This is a theoretical issue that should not be allowed to determine an election. Americans can come together, eschewing the extremes on this issue and focusing in a workmanlike, practical way at reducing the incidence of abortion. You know, the teen pregnancy is down by 42%. Abortion is cut in half. Those are positive steps because of policies that Clinton and Bush put into effect about notification and counseling and all of that.
Would you support gay marriage? Should the party embrace it now, given that so many states are moving that way?
My view on gay marriage is that if a state decides to go for gay marriage, the legislature or the voters, that's great. That's up to them. I've got no problem with it.
What's your personal view?
I don't believe that the court should jam it down anybody's throat.
What's your view?
That if people want it, they should be able to do it, but that it's got to be a decision of the community.
You see, when I hear you speak, it's interesting to me because I hear you speak and I hear you basically saying, look, with abortion, we need to move from, you know, pro-life, as people call it, although I don't like that phrase. I don't think it's neither or in that sense. Pro-life to an acceptance that it's going to exist, but try to reduce the numbers. Gay marriage, going from an anti-gay marriage position to, yes, we should accept this and it should be state decision.
When the people approve it.
Right. You see, the Republican Party's got to make its mind up as a party.
Yeah.
It can't have endless people on both sides ripping each other's position apart so that people standing back when it comes to an election go, well, what do they actually stand for?
Well, what we do stand for, Republicans do stand for, and it's becoming very clear, and we need to be much stronger on this, is holding down spending and debt. John Boehner has to be seen in a new light. He is no longer the leader of the Republicans in the House. He's a kind of coalition speaker, a little bit like Ramsay MacDonald, the former Prime Minister of Britain, who, after the Labour members all ran out on him, stayed in office, buoyed up by the Conservatives. Boehner now speaks for all of the Democrats and a handful of Republicans. And the regular Republicans vote against his position, and he's okay with it, and they're okay with it because they can go back and home and say, I opposed higher taxes.
Should Boehner...
You've got to have a strong...
Should he be replaced?
Well, I think a fight of that sort now would be destructive. But I believe that Boehner and the Republicans need to reclaim their fundamental legacy, which is if there was ever a time when we can understand that big spending and borrowing and ratifying it by higher taxes is going to destroy the American economy just like it's destroyed the economies of Japan and Europe. And we have to rally behind that. And what is stopping that is that Latinos and women feel they can't join the Republican Party, even though they agree with it, because it's excluding them.
Final question. I want a one-word or two-word answer. Who would you most like to see leading the party into the next election? So it can be a surname, a first
Walker.
name. Scott Walker. Interesting call. Dick Morris, good to see you.